Hello, my name is Getahoun, and I'm your host for this episode of College and Career Readiness podcast. Today, we're joined by our special guest, Sophie Getahoun. She's an Inderkum alumni currently attending UC Berkeley. Before we start our interview, remember to take control of your future. Join the California Army National Guard and serve your community during local and state emergencies. You'll learn marketable skills, earn a paycheck, and get money for school. Contact Sergeant and Keynote today at 916-233-7615. All right, Sophie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and where you are now?
So I was pretty much raised in Sacramento, went to school here my whole life, went to Inderkum, and now I go to UC Berkeley where I'm a political science major and journalism minor.
All right. And what did you participate in high school that helped you choose political science as your main major?
Nothing specific helped me choose political science. Honestly, I kind of just fell into that major based on activities I did. And then once I got to Berkeley, I wasn't sure if that's something what I wanted to do. But then after taking a political science class, I had an amazing professor, amazing classmates. I loved the material, so now that's why I chose that major.
And can you talk a little bit about your experience at UC Berkeley? How's it going over there?
So right now, I'm actually really in love with Berkeley. I'm currently involved in 2 clubs, an internship, a job, and then I'm recently just got recruited to be on part of the Cal mock trial team, which is a nationally ranked college mock trial team.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the mock trial team? I know that's something that's kind of new for you. You've never really done anything like that.
Yeah, so exactly, I've never done anything like that. Trying to get into that was pretty hard because most people, they have experience with either debate or mock trial, and that's not something that was offered here, but I was able to leverage my my skills that I learned from CCR and leadership, and just was able to take control of that role.
All right. And can you talk about the academic rigor and the level of expectations from the professors at Berkeley since it is ranked, #1 public school in America?
Honestly, I learned more in my first semester at Berkeley than I have in a really long time. It's really hard, but the thing about college is you have so much more time to spend towards your studies or activities or anything you want to do. So I was able to be successful in it. I actually just recently found out I got a 4.0 this semester, so I was like,
Congrats.
woo. That was really exciting, but that was a hard journey. I didn't do well my first round of midterms, and that's okay because I was able to bounce back and work hard on my second set of midterms and finals, and I ended up ending with a 4.0.
So let's backtrack a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about your high school experience and how that is in comparison to your college experience now?
High school and college is really different. I loved Inderkum. I loved my high school experience. Yeah, there was definitely some hard times, but overall, I had a really good high school experience. So going into college, I was a little bit scared if I was able to, I guess, do well while still having fun. And that's like that was definitely came true. I'm able to do really well in college. I have a lot of opportunities. I'm still able to have downtime for myself and for my friends. Something different that I learned from high school and comparing it to college is that in high school you don't have a lot of time because you have class from 8 to 3 p.m. on top of your extracurriculars, then studying, then taking care of your family, whereas in college you could really just focus on yourself and what you need to do to be successful. So it's different in that sense.
Mm-hmm. And how have you had to adjust as a student to compete academically at UC Berkeley?
It's been pretty difficult. UC Berkeley is the #1 public school in the world, and I come from Little Inderkum, but Inderkum did give me the tools I needed to be successful. It is a bit scary going into those spaces as a minority where there's only 2% Black people, 14% Hispanic, and the rest are either white or Asian. And so being such a small minority and such a big campus is really difficult, and it makes you feel like you don't belong because these places weren't institutionalized for us, for people of color. So just being able to band with other POC and work hard together to thrive in these institutions is really amazing and a skill you need to be able to network in these spaces. Again, with that said, I still love UC Berkeley. It's given me opportunities I've never had before. the alumni base there is insane. Yeah, so I really do enjoy my time there so far.
And kind of speaking about, the diversity, like what you were saying, coming from Inderkum being one of the most diverse schools in the nation, I know you had a kind of interesting story about being in a dorm at first when you were like the only person of color. How was that experience, seeing that from coming from here?
Yeah, Inderkum is its own little world. We just are kind of really accustomed to the diversity, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's amazing that the school is able to offer that. And at least people, one point in their life, are going to be able to see what it's like to go to school with people of any type of ethnicity. So yeah, that was definitely a struggle when I did go to UC Berkeley. Yeah, like you were saying, when I went to my first dorm, I ended up switching. The first dorm I was in, I was the only black person in the whole entire building. And so coming from Inderkum, where like I feel like we have literally every ethnicity out there, and then going to just being the only one is a challenge. But it's something that I took in and made it my own, like kind of made it like, oh, well, I'm here. And I'm here to help represent my community and just bring more people of color into these spaces so that we can thrive and we can make this our own.
All right, and you were originally going to attend UC Berkeley, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that, what changed?
Yeah, so I was originally going to, I didn't even really know specifically where I was going. I was deciding between a couple of schools at the time, and then I got into Berkeley, and then I got into NYU. And so NYU was already my dream school for a long time, one of my dream schools for a long time. I always kind of wanted to go to New York. And then I never expected to get into Berkeley. That wasn't something that I thought was going to happen for me. And so making that decision was really hard. But at the end of the day, I took a couple of things into account. The finances, going to a UC and being a California resident is much cheaper than going to NYU, a private school. 2, just name recognition, going to just wearing a Cal Berkeley shirt and saying that I go to Berkeley just makes people like, whoa, you go to Berkeley? And it's already just changes their perception of me before I even open my mouth. 3, Berkeley has so many resources. Like, it's insane, the just database, because it's not just Berkeley, it's the University of California in general. So I have access to library databases and alumni from UCs all across California. So that's just even a bigger pond of people to talk to. And then 3rd, also just being in the Bay Area. I really love the Bay Area. And at one point in my life, I wanted to live somewhere near San Francisco. And I'm thinking about going to grad school, probably on the East Coast. I was like, well, this is a perfect time to go ahead and do that.
In the United States Army and Army Reserve, leadership is earned every day. In addition to earning leadership, you can earn up to $80,000 towards your college degree. For more information, contact Staff Sergeant Coombe at 916-214-6457.
And what obstacles have you faced getting to college?
Getting into college?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So there's definitely a widespread notion that you have to have all A's and a perfect SAT to get into a highly regarded school. And I definitely did subscribe to that notion for a little bit because that's all I knew. And so that was a struggle, just applying to schools. I was really stressed out because I didn't have all A's and I didn't have the perfect SAT. My SAT was actually really bad. But what I did was on my application, I made sure that the people who read it knew who I was as best as possible. I explained my story and why they should pick me. My extracurricular activities definitely shine through based on anyone else who just had a 4.0, and I'm over here doing so many different activities while having good grades, being in IB, having a job, just stuff like that. So yeah, that was definitely a struggle. But at the end of the day, I got in because that's not what's important. Grades and SATs are getting they're kind of played out at this point now because everyone can have a 4.0 and a good SAT score as long as you hire someone to help you study for your SAT and get good grades. But what makes you different? Because anyone else could have that, and that's what colleges are looking for now. You have good grades, but what else do you do? And what are you going to bring to the school?
All right. And You know, you were talking about resources. You guys have a lot of resources at UC Berkeley. How have you personally utilized those resources?
Yeah, so at Berkeley, we do have a lot of resources. We have Haas, the business school, which is #2 in the nation. So even though I'm not a business major, I participate in HUBA, which is the Haas Undergraduate Black Business Association. So I'm actively a part of that, and just utilizing those resources. Because I'm in that, I know admissions officers in Haas, and they always invite me to study jams in the Haas buildings, which you could only be in if you're in Haas. But because I was able to make that connection, I'm able to go there and study. We have food pantry, so college is really expensive, especially in the Bay Area. Berkeley's actually the most expensive college town in the nation. So it's hard living there as a college student, but the school does its best to provide for us. So yeah, we have a food pantry, so you can go in there anytime and just grab food. It's free. We also have CalFresh, which is basically a debit card just for food. So if you're EOP, which I am, because EOP, we have EOP here, like underrepresented minorities, low income, etc. So if you have that, they'll also give you a debit card to buy your groceries. In terms of academic resources, they're abundant. Berkeley actually has, I think we have the biggest library in the world, or maybe we're #2. But yeah, we have like literally libraries within libraries, libraries underground, upstairs. Like you wouldn't even think it's a library. We have libraries everywhere. So just everyone's there basically.
Yeah.
As well as just like academic tutors within the dorms, study jams. Yeah, there's a lot of resources.
All right. And what other activities are you involved in on campus? Because you sound pretty involved.
Yeah, so outside of school, I'm in a couple of clubs, which I already said, HUBA, which is Haas Undergraduate Black Business Association, CISA, which is an East African coalition, just something to just get in tune with my heritage. I'm also in Black Pre-Law. And then my internship is with the ASUC, specifically the AVP's office, EAVP, which is External Affairs Vice President, and I work specifically in local affairs. So what I do there is basically help lobby within City Hall to get policies passed that would help college students, specifically like UC Berkeley, Berkeley Community College. So yeah, just working very closely with our representatives to just get policy passed that is beneficial for everyone. And then in addition, like I had already stated, I'm in Cal Mock Trial, and then I also work on campus.
All right. And what are your plans for the rest of your undergraduate?
Well, I can't plan everything, but next semester at least, I'm hoping to just keep my GPA the way it is. I'm really happy with that. And do well in Cal Mock Trial. I'm actually flying out to Colorado in a couple weeks for a tournament. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we do well in that. Yeah, just working, networking, that's super important. And just, that's probably one of my favorite things about college, being able to network and make those connections. Yeah, and just exploring Berkeley more.
And, you know, I know when you were at Inderkum, especially like junior and senior year, you were taking a lot of leadership positions. Do you plan to do that in Berkeley by the time that you get to that level?
Yeah, so one thing I would say, I definitely am going to be able to, definitely going to take up leadership positions within Berkeley. But one thing we kind of say in college is to know what you're doing. I did so much stuff in high school. Like I literally was a part of every single thing possible, not just a part of it, but mostly in a leadership position. And in college, yeah, you can do that, but something's going to have to give. So what we say is to have 3 things. A club or activity or internship, whatever, that will help you with your career. One that's part of your interests, like whether it's dance or cultural.
Yeah.
And then a third one that's something new that will help you just explore your, widen your horizons. So as you can see, like I'm in Black Pre-Law and HUBA, which will help with my career. CISA, which is going to help, or which is the East African Coalition, which is just like something I want to do, just like to get into with my heritage. And then 3, an internship or a Cal Mock Trial, which is something that will widen my horizons because it's not something I'm accustomed to doing and something that's I'm learning.
Okay. And lastly, what advice would you give to current high school seniors?
Okay, I would give a lot of advice. Okay, so one of the most important things I would say to do is really just try to figure out what you want to do, and don't subscribe to these notions that if you don't have the typical college application that you're not going to get in. Still apply for scholarships, apply for your dream schools. Even if you don't think you get in, you literally will never know what they're thinking that year, and why not? Like, anything could happen. You can get in anywhere you want to go as long as you put your mind to it. I would also say get involved. It's really important to get involved, because those skills that you start building up here in high school, you could bring to with you in college. Just explore. High school is a really good time to explore who you are. It's free. We go to a public school that actually has a lot of resources, so take advantage of that, because college is not free. Everything you do there is going to have a price tag on it. So yeah, just take advantage of where you're at now.
All right, thank you, Sophie. Thank you for taking time to interview with us. We really enjoyed your thoughtful input.
Get the skills to be a beauty professional. We offer hands-on training alongside creative artists and industry leaders in a fully equipped modern salon through our cosmetology, barbering, and aesthetics program. Call 916-418-7223 or visit federico.edu and start your new career today.